In this class, we will discuss the sixth module of our subject, that is waveguides. What is a waveguide? It is a linear structure that conveys electromagnetic waves. So in the last module, we were discussing about transmission line. So similar to transmission line, waveguide also transmits the electromagnetic waves. It consists of a hollow metallic tube, and the usual waveguides used are rectangular or circular waveguides, and it guides the electromagnetic waves by successive reflections from the inner walls of the tube. No TEM mode exists in waveguides. That means we are familiar with TEM mode in transmission lines. In transmission lines, it is only TEM mode, that is transverse electromagnetic fields. That is, if we assume that the wave is propagating in Z direction, then electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, and propagation is perpendicular to the fields. That means if it is propagating in Z direction, both Ez and Hz are 0. Both electric and magnetic field does not exist in the direction of the propagation of wave. And in case of waveguides, TEM does not exist, but either TE or TM mode exists. TE stands for transverse electric mode and TM stands for transverse magnetic mode. And now let's discuss the main differences between transmission lines and waveguides. First thing, when we consider the modes, transmission lines support TEM mode, which I explained just now, transverse electromagnetic mode. That means both electric and magnetic field has no component in the direction of propagation of the wave. Whereas in waveguides, it does not support TEM mode. Based on the equations, we can prove that, which I will be discussing later. So now just understand, waveguides does not support TEM mode, and it supports either TE or TM mode. TE for transverse electric mode and TM for transverse magnetic mode. Then the second thing, the operating frequency. These transmission lines are found to be inefficient at very high frequency, that is the microwave frequency range, due to skin depth and dielectric losses. But in case of waveguides are efficient at microwave frequencies, specifically 3 to 300 gigahertz. So it offers better bandwidth and very low attenuation of the wave in these frequencies. So corresponding to that frequencies, waveguides are preferred. Then the third one is transmission line is not frequency selective. It operates at all frequencies from DC, that is from 0 Hertz. But in case of waveguide, there is an important concept called cutoff frequency, and propagation of wave happens only after that cutoff frequency. So till that cutoff frequency, there is no propagation, and because of that, it can be considered as a high pass filter. So it is frequency selective and it acts as a high pass filter. It operates only above a particular frequency called cutoff frequency, and it does not transmit DC. And the last difference is less reflections are occurring in transmission lines, whereas in waveguide, the wave travels through successive reflections from the walls of the waveguide. So this is important. These are the major differences between transmission lines and waveguides. These are the different types of waveguides: rectangular, circular, twisted, 90-degree elbow, etc. And the commonly used waveguides are rectangular and circular waveguides, and in our subject we will be discussing about rectangular waveguides. So you can see this figure. It's hollow rectangular waveguide, and signal or the wave will be passing through this waveguide. So you can assume the shape like a rectangle. Okay. And here you can see that this A, along the direction X, the width or the dimension of rectangular waveguide is A, and the dimension of waveguide along Y direction is B. So A and B are the dimensions of rectangular waveguide. A is along X and B is along Y. So A and B, they are the dimensions of rectangular waveguide along X and Y directions respectively. and Z is the direction of propagation of the wave. So you just get an idea about the rectangular waveguide from this figure, and you have to learn this because all our derivations will be based on this figure. So you can learn or understand this diagram well. And let's start the derivation. Again, you know that we consider the three directions x, y and z, and the dimension of rectangular waveguides along x direction is a and along y direction is b. B is written here. And direction of propagation of of the wave is along z direction. And we assume the dielectric material to be lossless. That means conductivity will be zero. There is absolutely no conductivity because it's a lossless dielectric material. And walls are supposed to be perfectly conducting. Because of that, sigma will be assumed to have infinite value, very high or infinite value. And we are considering the rectangular waveguide, and I'm not going to the detail of derivation. The derivation notes I have already shared with you. So the main points I will just cover through it. The detailed derivation you can learn from the PDF which I shared. Okay. So you take the Maxwell's equation curl E and curl H, and you expand it like this, and you equate the X component, Y component and Z component. Both LHS and RHS is written. So you consider two equations. For each of these equations you do the same. Curly, the Maxwell's equation curly and curl H, you have the same approach. First curl E you are taking, you are expanding it and equating the X, Y and Z components. You are getting three equations. Similarly, you are doing it for the next Maxwell's equation. Curl H is equal to j omega epsilon E. As sigma is 0, that sigma E part is cancelled. Again, you are equating x, y and z components. You are getting the next set of equations. Then what you are doing is you are substituting this equation Ex and Ey because we know that the propagation is only along z axis. So Ex can be written as Ex naught e raised to minus gamma z and Ey can be written as Ey naught e raised to minus gamma z. Gamma is the propagation constant and it is written as e raised to minus gamma z because we take that wave is propagating in z axis. So again, you are equating, you are substituting these equations in the earlier equations we got, that is the set of three equations. Curl E is equal to minus j omega mu h. On substituting, you get another three equations. Similarly, you are doing hy and hx. You are writing the equations and substituting it in the curl H equation. You are getting next set of equation, and by proper manipulations you will be getting the final four equations like this. You are getting the equations for Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. These equations are common for all the modes. On solving the equations, you get Ez and Hz like this. Ez and Hz with four constants, say A1, A2, A3 and A4, and similarly B1, B2, B3 and B4. And solving those equations is extremely lengthy and you need not go to the detailed of it. So just learn this. This is how you get Ez and Hz. And coming to the two specific modes, that is, one is transverse electric field and the next is transverse magnetic field, TE and TM mode. And TE mode, Ez is taken as 0 because transverse electric mode means Z is the direction of propagation. So Ez will be 0. In case of TM mode, in this case you should uh, know that Hz is not equal to 0. In transmission lines, we learned TEM mode where both Ez and Hz are 0. But here it is different. In TE mode, Hz is not 0, just Ez is 0. Similarly, for TM mode, Hz is 0, but Ez not equal to 0. So these are the two modes and you can just go through the diagram. All are mutually perpendicular. The thing is, in TE mode, Ez is 0, Hz is not 0. Similarly, in TM mode, Hz is 0, but Ez is not equal to 0. Okay, so first let's discuss transverse magnetic field. Again, we are going to a very lengthy derivation and notes are shared in the PDF. You can go through it. I'll just go through the uh, main areas of the derivation. And first you apply the boundary conditions. And the tangential components of the electric field must be continuous. So we are considering the four boundaries, that is x equals the dimension of the rectangular waveguide is along x direction is a and along y direction is b. So the boundaries, that is x equals 0, x equals a, y equals 0, y equals b. At these 4 points you take Ez as 0. You take Ez as 0. And you know that on solving you will get an equation like this for Ez. And the first thing you're substituting is, you know that at x equals 0 and y equals 0, you have Ez as 0. So when you take x and y as 0, what you'll get is both sign terms will automatically be 0. So the rest of the terms will be a1 cos kx into x and a3 cos ky into y. So these two terms are remaining and that should be 0. For that a1 and a3 should be 0. So first we substituted the first set of boundary conditions and you got a1 and a3 as 0. Now you can modify the EZS with a1 a3 0. That means a2 a4 sin kx into x into sin ky into y into e raised to minus gamma z. E naught is A2 into A4. Okay, so as being E is Z, the amplitude is taken as E naught, and where E naught is A1 in A2 into A4. Okay, because A1 and A3 we already obtained as 0 by substituting the first two, the two by boundary conditions. Then what you are going to do is, second set of boundary condition is again Ez is 0 at x equals A and y equals B, and you are substituting in this equation. You are getting sin kxa should be 0, sin kyb should be 0. For that, kxa should be m pi and kyb should be n pi. Okay, and kx you get it as m pi by a and ky is n pi by b. These are very important equations. So kx and ky are given by m pi by a and n pi by b. A is the dimension of rectangular waveguide along x direction and B is the dimension of waveguide along y direction. So you substituted the equations, that is kx is equal to m pi by a. So instead of kx x you write m pi by a into x. Similarly ky into y you write as n pi by b into y. Okay. You get this equation for Ez, and we already know that we are discussing TM mode. So TM mode means Hz is 0. So you have the equations for Ez and Hz, and you had the equations for Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. These are the equations. Here you can see Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. And you substitute for Ez. Here you can see that you have to substitute for Ez and Hz. So on substituting Ez and Hz in those equations, you will get the final equations for Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. So these are the field equations for TM mode, and M and N are given. So corresponding to a mode Mn, we generally represent a mode as Mn. So value M and N you can substitute corresponding to the mode and you will get the field equations. Equation for Ez, Hz is 0 as we are considering TM mode, then Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. So these are the final equations corresponding to TM mode.